Saudi Arabia is a kingdom that contains vast expanses of desert, and it cannot be denied that it has been the scene of shocking discoveries such as the ones we will show you below. Number 1. Surely all of you have heard of certain cultures that practice a ritual known as burial at sea, in which the body of the deceased is deposited in the depths of the ocean or placed on a boat that is then allowed to set off into the immensity marine, trusting the gods to guide him. However, I want to tell you about a very interesting discovery that took place in 1939, when an archaeologist was conducting routine excavations and came across a complete burial ship, packed with valuable treasures inside. Imagine what a lucky find. This ship is known as Sutton Hoo, and from the moment it was discovered it has sparked the curiosity and interest of people wondering what its meaning is and what is really being witnessed here. It was evident that someone important had been buried inside that ship, and yet it was unclear who. Unfortunately, the body had already disappeared when the ship was rediscovered. However, as more evidence was examined and findings investigated, fascinating theories emerged about the identity of the person he might have been. It is speculated that it could have been the burial chamber of a king, a powerful ruler respected by his people, or even an equally elevated member of society who left a lasting impact on history. Number 2. In the northeast of Qatar, in a place called Al Jassasiyah, an abandoned sandstone mine has been discovered hiding hundreds of mysterious symbols. This impressive historical site is home to nearly 900 rock carvings known as petroglyphs. These fascinating petroglyphs span an area of 700 meters and were first found in 1957. However, it is estimated that they date back to 300 BC, making them a historical treasure of great importance. These mysterious engravings take various forms and provide us with a fascinating glimpse into the past. Some of them are simple ovals, and historians suggest that they could represent containers used to store pearls or even ancient board games, which tells us about the importance of culture and entertainment at that time. On the other hand, there are much more complex engravings that represent animals such as fish and ostriches, which makes us reflect on the fauna and diversity at that time. In addition to these designs, you can also see carvings of rows of engraved rosettes, which shows us the skill and creativity of the ancient artists. As if that were not enough, traditional boats have been found that are still used today, which allows us to imagine what the means of transportation were like in that place and time. Number 3. What if we told you that a huge tomb is located in the middle of nowhere? Pretty creepy, right? Well, in the northeast of Saudi Arabia, a mysterious massive building sits on the sand, and it is a tomb. That's right, this lonely castle, as it is called, is the tomb of Azra Alfred. It is carved into a rock that seems to literally come out of nowhere. Apparently, the tomb was built by the Nabatean civilization 2,000 years ago. The same meticulous knowledge of stone carving was found in the Hijra necropolis. Since the tomb of Azra Alfred appears to literally appear out of nowhere in the desert, many researchers have questioned its origins. However, the tomb is not too far from the vast archaeological site of Madan Salah. This site was discovered and explored at the beginning of the 20th century, and guess what? More than 500 tombs were discovered that were also related to the remains of the Nabatean city of Hijra. This building is still full of mysteries. It appears to have been left mid-construction, as one facade is sculpted with infinite detail, while the other was left untouched. And the most surprising thing is that there does not seem to be evidence of burial in this tomb. The deceased may have woken up and disappeared. Number 4. Of all the ancient civilizations that have mysteriously disappeared, the Mayans are the ones that have left the biggest question marks. They were a massive and highly advanced civilization that seemingly vanished in a cloud of smoke, leaving behind all their impressive cities and architectural monuments to be discovered and researched later. One such fascinating place is Tikal, located in present-day Guatemala, and which has been the subject of extensive study since at least the 1950s. Tikal, with its rich history and priceless cultural heritage, has been recognized as a national treasure, and it is now part of a national park in the country. Archaeologists and experts continue to explore and unravel the secrets of this ancient Mayan city, allowing us to better understand the lost legacy of this extraordinary civilization. Tikal is widely believed to have been a cultural area of great importance to the Mayan Empire. Today, Tikal is considered one of the most studied and fascinating archaeological sites in the world. Its extension is so vast that it is very likely that there are discoveries yet to be made. Number 5. The Barabar Caves are a set of rock-cut caverns in the Indian state of Bihar. These caves are of significant antiquity, dating back to the Mauryan period, making them the oldest rock-cut caves in India. They are known for their inscriptions, some of which date back to the period of the Mauryan monarch, Ashoka. These caves are located on the Barabar Hill and the adjacent Nagarjun Hill, with some considered as a separate group of caves. They were carved from solid granite bedrock and most have 2 chambers. The first would have hosted large gatherings of devotees, while the second contained a stupa, a mound-shaped structure containing relics. The architecture of these caves is especially notable due to the Mauryan polishing inside the chambers, which produces a distinctive echo effect. This effect would have had an impact on the worshippers gathered in the caves, adding a spiritual dimension to the experience. Number 6. GWamp is an archaeological site near Groton, Connecticut, in the United States. This place is famous for its numerous stone structures, although there is no agreement on their age or function. Several hypotheses have been proposed about its origin, from Native American constructions to European colonial constructions. One of the most striking hypotheses suggests that the GWamp structures were built by Irish monks between the 6th and 8th centuries. This claim is based on the presence of similar structures in Ireland, and the idea that these monks sailed across the Atlantic to avoid the Vikings. However, this claim lacks solid evidence and has been the subject of controversy among scholars. Number 7. Skellig Michael is one of 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Republic of Ireland. This place is home to St. Fiannan's Monastery, one of the country's first foundations, located on a stunning rock off the coast of Kerry. The monks who lived at Skellig Michael prayed and slept in beehive-shaped stone houses, many of which still stand today. In the 10th century, the monks left the island and it became a place of pilgrimage and refuge for Catholics during the penal laws. To follow in the footsteps of the monks, it is necessary to climb 618 high and uneven steps. Getting to Skellig Michael can be difficult, but it is worth the effort. In addition to its rich history, the island has a tremendous abundance of avian life. The island has the 2nd largest colony of gannets in the world. Number 8. Finlays Caves. The fog that sometimes envelopes the island, 8 miles west of Mull, in Scotland's Inner Hebrides, is as thick as the mists that hide the truth about Fingal. Approached from the water, Finlays Cave seems too beautiful, too architecturally planned to be natural. A heart-shaped hole 42 feet high and surrounded by the same hexagonal basalt columns that line the Giant's Causeway in Ireland. North. It was one of Scotland's first tourist attractions. It is a meeting place for celebrities such as Wordsworth, Keats, and Cher. This is because Finlays Cave has another feature which is reflected in its Gaelic name, Anwain Bin, or the Music Cave. The crystalline acoustics created by the basalt columns and vaulted ceiling led Mendelssohn to compose his Hebrides Overture, a marvelous work of art. Number 9. Mysterious Labuan Chimney, A 100-foot-tall red brick chimney sits on a rise in the north of Labuan Island, off the coast of East Malaysia. In terms of chimneys, it's nothing special, just a square brick tower with 2 arches at the base and a beautiful cornice at the top. But why was it created? It has baffled archaeologists for decades. Various hypotheses have been proposed to explain its purpose, from being an incomplete house to a lighthouse or a bell tower. The most likely explanation connects the chimney to previous coal mining operations in the area. According to experts, it was part of this new brick manufacturing facility. Number 10. Andromeda Theater. There is a strange area suspended between the ground and the stars in Santo Quisquina, in the province of Agrigento, Italy. It is the Andromeda Theater, a mirror of the sky that is not yet widely known by most people, but offers a unique spectacle. The construction is well lit by natural light, and there is no evidence of artifice or electrical aid. Everything has been designed to integrate with nature, providing a unique spectacle where time seems to be suspended in an endless interval between the present, the past, and the future. Number 11. Elephant Rock. If you go into the Valley of Fire State Park, in the southern Nevada desert, you can see a rock formation that resembles an animal. Located thousands of kilometers away, it is known as Elephant Rock and has a body similar to that of an elephant, complete with a super long trunk that reaches to the ground. Best of all, it only takes about 500 meters of light hiking to reach it from the trailhead, making it a great place to visit for people of all physical abilities. Number 12. Devil's Tower. We will travel directly to the North American state of Wyoming to enjoy a truly peculiar and enigmatic geological wonder, the Devil's Tower. This formidable rock formation has become the protagonist of the territory it occupies, classified as a national park. The Devil's Tower is located in the middle of large, completely flat plains, being a monolith of volcanic origin. Its perfect shape and size make this rock formation, which seems to have appeared out of nowhere, the main attraction of Homan. Despite its modest height of only 386 meters, mountaineers who can ascend to heights of up to 8,000 meters are not able to scale it due to its practically vertical walls. Climbing to the top and, even more difficult, descending, becomes an almost impossible challenge. Although its origins are not entirely clear, recent studies suggest a volcanic origin, explaining its shape as a result of the cooling of lava to a specific temperature. Be that as it may, this rocky skyscraper is an ideal place for fans of the mysterious. Number 13. The Underground Church of St. John. Our next exciting story takes us to France, more specifically to the idyllic town of Albert-sur-Dran. Here is the underground monolithic stone-carved Church of St. John, which delights historians and tourists. According to what scholars have discovered, the church was originally designed to house valuable religious objects that were kept in a reliquary and protected from thieves. In the following centuries, the St. John Church was also used as a cemetery. Some historical sources suggest that the workers who carved the church directly into the limestone rock were inspired by returning crusaders who brought back stories of underground temples and treasure chambers. Although the baptismal font in the center of the church was probably designed between the 4th and 1st centuries, it is possible that the church did not receive its final form until the 12th century. Number 14. The Titanic. The sinking of the Titanic stands out as one of the most emblematic disasters in history. New images of the 1912 shipwreck reveal the Titanic in critical condition, dissolving under the effects of salt water, currents, and bacteria. Explorer Victor Vescovo and his team, on an expedition of 5 dives to 12,000 feet over 8 days, used a rugged submersible to capture images for an upcoming National Geographic documentary. Although it was not the first time they found the remains, they were surprised by the great deterioration that had occurred in the last decade. Iconic elements, such as the valve from the famous scene in the 1997 film, were unrecognizable and vanishing into the ocean. The Titanic is expected to completely deteriorate in the coming decades. In a gesture of respect, the crew laid a wreath and held a brief ceremony in memory of those who lost their lives more than a century ago. Number 15. The Black Pharaohs. The Nubian pharaohs belonging to the 25th dynasty are enigmatic rulers whose existence is often overlooked, mainly due to their dark skin, a fact that some Egyptians tried to deny. Persistent archaeological efforts continue to reveal evidence of the presence of the pharaohs. Nubians in Sudan. Near Nuri, a group of researchers found a staircase believed to lead to the tomb of the ruler Nastasen, but when descending, they encountered an unexpected obstacle. The tomb was submerged in water. Thanks to underwater archaeologists led by Piers Paul Kutzman, who navigated the underwater corridor, this challenge was overcome. Finally, the experts examined the tomb, a burial chamber with 3 rooms adorned with vaulted ceilings, where they found golden statues. Despite the complexity of the exploration due to the high water level, the discovery of the tomb serves as irrefutable proof of the existence of the Nubian pharaohs. Number 16. Underwater structures of Zakynthos. Initially found as remains of a lost Greek city near Zakynthos, recent research published in the Journal of Marine and Petroleum Geology revealed a more intriguing truth about these underwater structures. Contrary to the initial belief that the site was a sunken city destroyed by ancient tidal waves, it turns out to be a natural geological phenomenon dating back to the Pliocene era, approximately 5 million years ago. If it weren't for a diver who captured it, it would be hard to believe. The site, discovered by divers, was carefully examined by experts using advanced techniques such as X-rays and microscopy. Their findings revealed that the distinctive donut-shaped solid masses formed due to a subsurface fault that released gas. Although uncommon in seawater, these formations are more common in microbial sediments exposed by natural seafloor erosion. The research team concluded that this shallow water geological phenomenon is exceptionally rare and provides valuable information about the Earth's dynamic processes over millions of years. Number 17. 400-year-old church. Perhaps this is one of the most incredible discoveries in this video. For many years, a church could be seen rising from the surface of the waters of one of the reservoirs in Mexico, or rather, the top of a church was accessible. This could only be reached by boat, and it is difficult to believe that the entire structure is beneath the waters. And yet, that is what a drought in 2023 revealed. That year, an intense heat wave spread in several parts of Mexico. The state of Chiapas was one of the most affected, leading many bodies of water in the area to reach dangerously low levels. The church, built in the 16th century by Dominican friars, was partially submerged for decades in the Tikal reservoir. However, due to a drought, the entire structure was exposed. Originally, the church was a place of worship for the inhabitants of the village of San Encachila, but in 1966 it was deliberately flooded to build the Tikal hydroelectric dam. Number 18. Dinosaur footprints. I don't know about you, but I've always been fascinated with dinosaurs. It's incredible to see all the traces these incredible creatures left behind, from their bone fossils to their footprints. That's exactly what park rangers discovered at a Texas state park in 2022. This was possible because of a 2-year drought that hit the area with rising temperatures and significantly less rain. The river that runs through the park receded, with some parts drying up completely. This revealed magnificent dinosaur footprints that experts believe are more than 113 million years old. The footprints discovered are probably from a creature called Acrocanthosaurus, a giant that lived in the forests of North America. It measured up to 15 feet tall and 38 feet long, weighing as much as 3 small cars. It had spines on its back that supported a muscular ridge, which is believed to have had several purposes, such as supporting its body or regulating temperature. Although it is not clear how he lived, his size and characteristics would have made him dominant in his time. Number 19. About 7,000 years ago, the GWamp dolmen was created. This megalithic formation consists of 144 standing stones, some reaching up to 6 feet tall, arranged in a circular formation reminiscent of Stonehenge in England, earning it the same name. In addition to being known as the GWamp dolmen, this formation is also known as the Spanish Stonehenge. Although England's Stonehenge is more famous and iconic, the GWamp dolmen was built first. However, like Stonehenge, the purpose of the dolmen remains a mystery. Archaeologists believe it could have been a tomb, a site for religious rituals, or even a trading center due to its strategic location near the river. The structure was so significant that its builders transported granite stones from miles away to create it. But to this day we are not completely sure. This monument was first found and excavated in the 1920s by German archaeologist Hugo Obermeier, but its significance was not fully understood. In 1963, the megalithic structure was deliberately flooded to build the Valdecanas Reservoir. For decades, the GWamp dolmen was underwater, only visible in parts. However, in 2019, a drought hit Europe and Spain was affected. The GWamp dolmen fully emerged, generating new interest in its study and requests for its relocation to protect it. However, moving an archaeological site is difficult, and to this day, the Spanish Stonehenge remains in place, only visible when the waters recede.